Hillsborough was full to capacity for the visit in November 1998 of Manchester United, one of the biggest occasions of the season for any team. Sheffield Wednesday were already struggling, having slumped to 7 defeats in 13 matches. United, on the other hand, had started well and were sitting in second place. Their sole loss of the season had been inflicted by Arsenal in a 3-0 defeat. United tended to bring out the best in Wednesday. The Yorkshire team had won 2 of the last 4 meetings at Hillsborough. New signing Pavel Srnicek made his home debut on his return to English football after previously spending several years at Newcastle United. Striker Benito Carboni was still awaiting his first goal of the campaign. This was his 3rd season with the Owls, following a £3 million move from Inter Milan. Wednesday fielded the same team that had played against Newcastle the week before. Indeed, the back 4 had played together in every game of the season, so injuries hadn't been a key factor in their struggles. United's goalkeeping legend Peter Schmeichel had announced his retirement at the end of the season, following 7 successful years at Old Trafford. Roy Keane and Dennis Irwin returned after being rested against Blackburn. The only notable absentee was Ryan Giggs, who'd missed the last 6 games through injury. The fans had seen Wednesday win only one of their last 7 games that had come at home with a surprise 1-0 defeat of Arsenal. Could they rediscover that magic formula again? Your match commentator is John Champion.
Sheffield Wednesday have recently developed a habit of making life uncomfortable for Manchester United when they cross the Pennines and visit Hillsborough. Twice in the last 4 years they've won this fixture. And although they currently occupy vastly different positions, Sheffield Wednesday 15th in the Premier League table, Manchester United 2nd, you always find that the Owls are up for this one. Habitually draws the biggest crowd of the season to Hillsborough, and we already know it's a capacity attendance of 39,500 today. Srnicek on his home debut with his first clearance. Up goes Carboni. Brian Kidd taking charge of matters down on the bench in the early moments of the game. It's Atherton. Down. And Alexanderson was caught on the back foot. And then Cole was bowled over by Emerson Tom. Despite this foul, he's made a favourable impression in his time with Wednesday so far. The Brazilian, signed from Portuguese football. Manchester United beaten only once in the English Premier League so far this season. 3-0 at Arsenal. And scoring goals for fun lately. 21 goals in the calendar month of October, boosted by 6 at Brøndby in the Champions League and 5 against Wimbledon. And in 4 games so far this month, they've scored 10 times. 5 more of those against Brøndby. Here's Blomqvist. Nice control, swivel, and then too much elevation. Once they were hardly secure at the back. Wim Jonk. Tackle from behind by Paul Scholes. Been the tidiest of tacklers, Scholes. Danny Wilson was in the Sheffield Wednesday team that beat Manchester United to win the 1991 League Cup. This time last year he was in charge of Barnsley. Alexanderson tries his luck. Oh, and Schmeichel has virtually thrown it into his own net. Hillsborough alive with smiling faces. But there's one very red one, and it belongs to Manchester United's usually impeccable Danish goalkeeper. Straightforward, even for the goalkeeper in a pub team on a Sunday morning. But not, it seems, for Schmeichel. Many a long year without seeing Peter Schmeichel make another error as severe as that one. Although this is not his happiest ground. Remember his embarrassment when chipped by Davor Schuker here, playing for Denmark against Croatia in Euro '96. Perhaps the most emblematic goal of that tournament. Stamm to Keane. Danny Sonner making a nuisance of himself. Beckham. Stamm has stayed forward. Scholes. Lundqvist. Andy Cole. At last, Manchester United are beginning to put some passes together at least. Ferguson has just completed 12 years in charge. Still no shrinking violet. Especially when his team are behind to a goal like that. Gary Neville. Cole. York. That's nice. That's Cole. That's 1-1. And suddenly, Ferguson on the touchline must feel a whole lot better, even if Danny Wilson doesn't. Two strikers who played a fair amount of football together. They know what the other is likely to do next, and they hooked up very impressively there. For Andy Cole to get his 8th of the season. With Barnsley, lost 7-0 at Old Trafford last season, 2-0 at Oakwell. Here at least his side scored first. Scholes. This is Dwight York. Lundqvist. Dennis Irwin. Now York leaves it for Irwin, and Irwin goes down under an untidy challenge from Nicholas Alexanderson. Alec Ferguson gave a penalty from the dugouts. What's more important is that David Ellery didn't from 10 yards away. Andy Booth. Down. Phil Neville. York. Manchester United faced by the same back four that's seen duty in every Sheffield Wednesday League game so far this season. The results haven't been what they might have wished, but they've been consistent in their selection. Here's the Norwegian, Rudy. Irwin. Jesper Blomqvist. Dwight York. Cole. This is better from Manchester United now. That equaliser from Cole has allowed them to regain their equilibrium. Blomqvist. Stam. Scholes. He misses his kick. Keane. Scholes. And it's Manchester United asking most of the questions at the moment. Keane. Now Beckham. Oh, and both strikers went for the cross, Jorg and Cole. When Manchester United required a moment of clarity to meet a super cross from Beckham, neither striker was entirely on message. Carbone, yet to score this season in 10 games for Wednesday. Stam. Letting fly too and bringing a decent save from Srnicek. He's been kept busy on his home debut. There was a wonderful ovation up at St James's last week when he returned to make his first appearance for Wednesday at his old club Newcastle. Extended there by Stam. Beckham. Stam. It's another corner. Towering presence at the back post. David Beckham. Scholes. Well, he had time and he had space and there wasn't a meaningful challenge. At least he would have expected have been to work the goalkeeper. Danny Wilson has been pretty direct with his team this season. When they were beaten here by Cambridge in the League Cup, he called them Fancy Dans. Paul Scholes. Wide with Beckham. There's Walker behind. Stam and Scholes, no, he used a hand, and in fairness to him, he's not turning away in celebration and trying to calm the referee, although that may not prevent him from receiving a yellow card for unsportsmanlike behaviour. Not exactly sure what went through Scholes' mind. Felt he couldn't get there with his head. Decided to turn it in with his arm. It was hardly a Maradona moment, but it is one that Paul Scholes may live to regret if he accumulates too many bookings this season. It's like a slam dunk in basketball. Cole and Tom having a verbal disagreement. St Tom, who until recently played his club football at Benfica. Hand was offered in friendship by Tom and declined by Cole. Play restarts with a Sheffield Wednesday free kick. Half-time at Hillsborough, and it's 1-1. Sheffield Wednesday taking an early lead through Nicholas Alexanderson, but it was a gift from Peter Schmeichel, and that was cancelled out by Andy Cole just before the half-hour mark. here we go with the second half. Manchester United, having come from behind to level through Cole. Sheffield Wednesday have played reasonably well without carrying too much by way of attacking threat. We've barely seen Carbone. Booth has worked hard alongside him. This is Andy Hinchcliffe. And that falls into the path of York. Actually, Sernacek got it away. Beckham. Beckham to cross this time. Goalkeeper was caught in no man's land. There's Scholes. Atherton. And Sonnet. Back to Peter Atherton. Rudy. Hinchcliffe. Irwin. Blomqvist. That's wayward from Stan. Rudy. Sonnet. There's Booth, and it comes to Vivian. First goal for Wednesday. What a day to score it. Another unhappy moment of uncertainty for Peter Schmeichel. Spread himself and blocked, but the rebound ran loose and obligingly for Jonk. And the £2.5 million summer signing makes his first repayment against that fee. Alexanderson, who scored the first, indirectly set up the second. The man alone with his thoughts. Carbone. Support either side. He's picked out Rudy. Well, maybe not quite as accurately as he would have wished. Hinchcliffe. Alexanderson. Oh, Schmeichel! Well, that's the goal in which he was chipped by Schuker at Euro 96. Although that day he was stranded way off his line, this time he was pretty much on it. York tries a blast. A real worry for Sernacek. Peter Rudy. The release for Carbone. Stam, I think, got the call that time from Schmeichel. Where's Brown? Cole. Well read by Des Walker. Beckham. And Beckham with a good effort. quite enough curl on it. There's plenty of anxiety down on that Manchester United bench. United have been busy this season, 9 Cup and Champions League games on top of their 13 league fixtures, including this. They go to Barcelona on Wednesday for their next Champions League engagement. Alexanderson, Carbone, there's Beckham, Stam, it ran away from him, Alexanderson's in here! We're a month short of Christmas, but Manchester United have arrived at Hillsborough bearing gifts. 2 errors by Schmeichel for the first 2 goals, and now Jaap Stam presents the ball and the opportunity to the Swede Alexandersson for his 2nd and Wednesday's 3rd. Just over quarter of an hour remaining, and Sheffield Wednesday, habitually awkward opponents for Manchester United, are up to their tricks again. Scholes was caught high there by Emerson Tom. And given the artillery available to Manchester United, this is a position of some threat to Wednesday. David Ellery making the point that he will only allow the free kick to be taken once he's blown the whistle. In a sense, this is almost too close for comfort for Beckham. He'd prefer to be 3 or 4 yards further out. Time to get the ball up over the wall and down again. Wouldn't rule him out from here. It is Beckham, and it was still rising when it cleared the crossbar. Danny Wilson, as a manager, has never tasted victory over Manchester United. Phil Neville. Alexanderson. Carbone. Atherton. Two goals for Nicholas Alexanderson. His first Premier League goals for Sheffield Wednesday. Joined them from IFK Gothenburg. And Jonk could be in again here. Well, 4-1 really would be embarrassing for Manchester United. 3-1's bad enough. I don't think I've ever seen them as shabby defensively as they've been today. Booth. Jonk. A very well-weighted ball. Still barking the orders, Danny Wilson. He was tough as teak as a midfield player. Carbone. Rudy. Carbone. Carbone hadn't gone for the return. It's not going to matter though. Any second now, the whistle will go. There it is, Sheffield Wednesday victorious. An excellent performance by them. Manchester United defensively shambolic. Have we ever been able to say that before to such an extent? But credit to Wednesday, 2 excellent goals from Alexanderson, 1 from Jonk. Sheffield Wednesday 3, Manchester United 1.
A day to savour at a packed Hillsborough, but it wasn't a sign of things to come. Sheffield Wednesday managed to win only 4 more games at home all season, though they did finish in a respectable 12th place. Alex Ferguson's men went from strength to strength. They claimed the championship by 1 point over Arsenal, won the FA Cup, and a remarkable comeback against Bayern Munich in the Champions League final saw them complete